Welcome to probability and the p-hat distribution. So the idea here is just like when we were studying normal distributions earlier, we could calculate the probability of landing in a specific stretch on that number line. So the idea here, again, we can take advantage of the fact the p-hat distribution is normal. Again, if certain conditions are met. And calculate the probability of getting certain results. So, for example, it is assumed that a fair coin will come up heads 50% of the time. You plan to flip a coin 50 times. What is the probability that the coin will come up heads less than 15 times? So we're assuming that a coin will come up heads 50% of the time. So that is our population proportion. We are assuming that P is 0.50 or 0.5. We are planning to flip the coin 50 times. So that is our sample size. We will have 50 coin flips to draw from. So N is 50. And then this is our sample results. So we want to know what is the probability it will come up heads less than 15 times. So the general information is that P is 0.50 and N is 50. And then the specific information we are looking for to do with the sample. So the sample information we are looking at if P hat is 15 out of 50, 15 heads out of 50 sampled. But then we are looking specifically to the left. So we're looking at that or to the left. So on our number line, 15 out of 50 is 0.3. So we have 0.3, and then we are looking at anything to the left of that. Oops. So we are trying to determine the probability to the left of 0.03. So the first thing, the first thing we need to do is we need to understand our sampling distribution. So we need shape. So we need to check M times P. So 50 times 0.5 is 25, and then N times 1 minus P. 50 times 1 minus 0.5. This is also 25. These are both 10 or more. Which means that we have the p hat or the sampling distribution is essentially normal. So the distribution is essentially normal. Then we have center. So mu sub p hat is just p. So in this case, our mean mu sub p hat is 0.5. Spread sigma sub p hat is equal to the square root of p times 1 minus p divided by n. So we are looking at the square root of 0.5 times 1 minus 0.5 divided by 50. If we do this calculation, we wind up getting, we are looking at the square root of 0.005, or approximately 0.07. I'll go out a little more, 0.0707. So this is our standard deviation. We have shape, center, and spread. Next up, we want to see how our sample fits in the distribution. So we want to draw how our sample information fits in the distribution. So we have a normal curve. Centered at 0.5. Our sample information is that we are looking at 0.3, and we wanted to know the probability to the left. So next up, we want to calculate the probability. So this is the p hat distribution. To do this, we are going to do precisely what we've done before. We will translate through z-score and then use an applet to calculate the probability. So going through z-score, from here we're going to translate to z-score. So the generic formula for z-score is z is equal to the data value minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. So it doesn't matter what distribution we're working with, it's always data value minus mean divided by the standard deviation. So the thing that we need to translate here is that 0.3. So we have our mean is 0.5. Our standard deviation was I didn't give myself enough room, 0.0707. And then the data value we are trying to convert is this 0.3. So z is equal to, we will do 0.3 minus 0.5 divided by 0.0707. And if we do that, we are looking at negative 2.83 approximately. So in our picture, with this new translation, looking at z-score, we are now looking at negative 2.83 and looking to the left. So now we use the applet. So this is the normal distribution calculator. In Canvas. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Canvas normal distribution calculator, and we will find this probability. Forgot to pause the video for a moment there. Okay, so if we go to the end of modules, we wind up with a normal distribution calculator is at the very end of our modules. And we go over to our normal distribution calculator. We have a z-score of negative 2.83 and hit enter. And we are looking for the area to the left. So the area to the left is 0.0023. I will transfer back to the writing in a moment. I'm just going to copy down that number. So the area to the left is 0.0023. All right, so switching back, let me pause the video. We have the area to the left as 0.0023. So that means that the probability that we were searching for, so the probability of getting less than 15 out of 50 heads, assuming the coin is fair, is 0.0023. All right, so this is using the same tools we've seen before. We've figured out shape, center, and spread before with a sampling p-hat distribution. We have done z-score calculations and probability calculations before, so this is just putting it together. All right, that is it.